Welcome to Treacherous Mansion E-1, Front Door Key. There are 3 gemstones that we recommend grabbing here, as well as 1 boo to track down. Start off by crossing a series of thin walkways to the mansion's front door. When you go to unlock it, Polterpup will appear and run off with your key. Yep, you're gonna have to track that darn dog one last time by using your dark light. Or at least you would if you didn't have our guide helping you out every step of the way. After Polterpup takes off, the walls will recede, revealing a walkway to your left. Follow it down the stairs where you'll catch a brief glimpse of the mutt. To follow him, use your dark light on the well to reveal a chain you can grab hold of that will lower you to the bottom. Follow the passage to a wall that you can break down by tugging on the plant growing through it. Head on through into the guard tunnel. Inside, knock down another wall by pulling on the plant growing through it on the right, though some ghosts will appear as a result. After taking them down, head on in through a small passage to reach the cliffside. The valve here opens the gate, but only for a brief time, so it's best to position yourself as close to the gate as possible while working the valve to minimize how far you need to travel. Once it's fully open, hurry past and continue through the door into the ceremonial chamber. Inside, follow the passageway to a larger room and grab the silk sack from the left wall. Carry it back through the passage to ignite it with a fire. Now bring it back to the large room and work your way around it, lighting the 3 unlit torches via the attached webbing. Doing so will cause a throne to appear. Oh, and one of the knights in the room will magically come alive and go after you too. No big deal. To take him down, lure him onto the carpet, then use your vacuum to pull it out from underneath him. It's easiest if you catch him while he's attacking, giving you a huge window to work within. Once he's down, the ghost responsible will be revealed. But while you're working on him, the knight that came with the throne will start coming after you too. Take him down in the same way. Once the room's clear, take a seat on the throne to discover it's actually a lift that will take you down to the haunted catacombs. Here you'll explore a maze, and if you head the wrong way at any point, you'll find yourself back at the start. Fortunately, your dark light will reveal Polterpup's trail, or you can just follow what I tell you. Start off by taking the last passage on the right, then continue straight across the next hall. Head north, making sure to run past the pair of knights before they can block your path, and then turn right into the passage right after. Head south and take the door on the right, leading into the underground lab. You'll see some strange stuff going on here, but no matter, rip the goggles from the ghosts and take them down. Oh, and watch out for that sneaker too. Once you've cleared the room, use your vacuum on the valve along the back wall to shock the knight on the table and reveal this mission's boo. Afterward, grab the knight's helmet that flew off after shocking the armor and launch it at the flask by the right door to reveal the mansion's first gem they can pull down with your vacuum. Now exit out the right door and some more of the haunted catacombs. There's a couple of gems nearby you can grab, and the knight statues actually point the way. Start off by heading directly across the hall, then north and right at the knight. Now head south, then right at the next knight. Then head north and right at the wall, and yes, there is a knight there if you reveal him with a dark light. You'll find a secret area containing a painting. Cast your dark light on it to reveal a silk sack. Ignite it with a nearby fire, then carry it with you to the hall previous to the one you just came from by taking the second passage on the left. Now head north to burn down the web with your lit sack where you'll find the mansion's second gem. Now head to the opposite end of that same hall to find a door on the right that leads to the cliff side. Do you see it there, hanging on the vine just outside? Pull it down with your vacuum to claim the mansion's third gem. After returning to the catacombs, it's actually fastest to take the wrong way, such as right across from the door to find your way back to the start. Now resume the mission by heading south and turning left at the end. Continue through the door there into the dungeon cells. Here you'll spot that adorable puppy one final time before you get a chance to catch him. Follow him down the stairs and around the corner, and feel free to ignore the ghost here if you wish. Continue to the final cell, which you can actually enter thanks to the bendable bars in the center. Use your vacuum to get the chain inside to tug, causing the wall containing a painting to spin around and face the other cell. Head on over to that cell and cast your dark light onto the painting through the bars to make a bomb appear that will blow a hole in the wall. Take advantage of that hole to enter the middle cell from the one on the right. Now check the barrel on its side to reveal the Polterpup you can finally attempt to catch. If you don't stun him in time, he'll just go hide in one of the nearby barrels, which you can easily track with your dark light. Once you capture him, the front door key will be revealed. Collect it to complete the mission. Welcome to Treacherous Mansion E-2, Double Trouble. If you've been following our guide, there will be 4 gemstones that we recommend grabbing here that you haven't already found, as well as 1 boo to track down. Let's get things started by heading into the mansion. As soon as you enter the front entrance, there will be a gem you can collect. Use your dark light on the right gargoyle to reveal a chain. Pull it to cause the staircase to recede, revealing a safe. Flash it with your strobe light to reveal a gem, but you'll have to take down the slammer first. Once you have, use your vacuum to retrieve the mansion's 4th gem. Okay, so in order to complete this mission, you'll need to activate a portal in each of the 4 corners of the mansion. While you can go about it in any order, we'll show you the fastest method plus how to collect the gems along the way. Start off by heading through the East Gallery into the Jungle Exhibit. If you try to free the toad from the painting on the right side, a plant monster will appear and prevent that from happening. But we'll come back to this later since we need to go activate those portals first. And as for the ghosts, their spears are just like the shovels they wielded earlier in the game, so wait for them to attack before blinding them. Once they're down, continue past the plant monster and ride the dangling vine down to the lower level. Now head through the nearby waterfall to activate the first portal, which like all the other portals here, provides instant access to the front entrance. But we're not going to use it just yet. Instead, head back through the waterfall and use the orange flower on the ground to spring up to the level above. Then continue through the northern door into the Grand East. But before we go through the door ahead, let's take a detour into the restrooms down the left hall for a gem. But skip the first entrance and instead use your dark light to reveal a second one just beyond. Inside, pull the flush chain on the toilet to reveal the mansion's 5th gem. Now exit back into the hall and go through that northern door we skipped a few moments ago. You know, the one with all the sand around it, which leads into the ancient exhibit. Step out onto the sand and use your strobe light to trigger both of the statue's eyes, which will cause the sandy floor to sink. Once you reach ground level, pull on the chain ahead 3 times to tear down the wall, revealing another portal. But before you can use it, some mummies will appear. While you can battle them like you have before, you can also lure them into the nearby torches to take care of the wrapping instantly. Once you've wrapped things up, activate the portal and head on through this time for a shortcut back to the front entrance. So that's 2 portals down and 2 more to go, both of which are on the west side. As such, head on through the left door and cross through the west gallery into the Dark Age exhibit. Interact with the metal storage closet to reveal a bucket that will come into play later and some ghosts that you'll have to take down in order to open the chest in this room. Once you have, open the chest to find a book, place it back on the nearby bookshelf to reveal the room's portal. Activate it, then exit out the northeastern door. Cross the Grand West to the door covered in snow, then use your vacuum to clear it out of the way, gaining entry into the Ice Age exhibit. Before you go for the portal, let's go for a gem. Tug on the woolly mammoth's trunk to have him launch you through the ceiling onto the roof. Once there, you'll find some stars in the sky in the shape of an even larger star, but it's missing 3 pieces. The first is right next to you. Grab it, then launch it into one of the 3 slots as marked by your crosshair. If you get it right, it'll take its proper place. But don't sweat it if you mess up, as another star will crash land so you can try again. Look for a second star in the southwest corner caught in a gargoyle's mouth. Blind him with your strobe light to force him to release it, then launch it at the star in the sky. Now you might have noticed a shooting star overhead. Pull it down with your vacuum and use it to complete the sky star. For doing so, you'll be awarded the mansion's 6th gem. Now climb inside the nearby air duct to return downstairs. Head inside the igloo and activate the portal inside. Now that all the portals are open, it's time to solve some puzzles. Take that portal back to the front entrance, then take the closest one there to arrive back in the Dark Age exhibit. Grab the bucket that should be lying around somewhere, then take the portal back to the front entrance. Now warp through the far right portal to return to the jungle exhibit. Walk through the waterfall to fill your bucket, then use it to water the nearby plant along the north wall. This will cause it to grow a spiny bulb. Grab it, then bounce off the orange flower spring to the floor above. Now launch that thorny ball at the plant monster to take him down. You can now finally cast your dark light on the toad painting within to free the toad. So that's 1 toad down, but there's still 1 left. But before we go save him, there's a gem you can now collect. Now you need to get to the lower level, but because the toad can't come with you on the vine, you're going to have to launch him over the railing to get him down there. After regrouping with Toad, grab the bucket and take it back through the portal to the front entrance. Then take the closest one back to the ancient exhibit. Proceed upstairs via the ramp on the right, and then use your bucket to water the small plant by the palm trees. After it grows, flash it with your strobe light to make it blossom and reveal the mansion's 7th gem. Now you'll want to return to the jungle exhibit for the next puzzle, and while you can take the nearby door through the Grand East Hall connecting the 2, you'll have to battle some ghosts along the way. So it's actually easier just to take the portal again to the front entrance, then do the jungle. This time you'll want to grab one of the logs just left of the waterfall, then take it back through the portal and back into the ancient exhibit. Use one of the lit torches to ignite the log, then carry it back through the portal to the front entrance again. But this time, head through the snowy one into the Ice Age exhibit. Now use your burning log to melt the ice on the left side, where you'll find a toad painting within. Shine your dark light on it to reveal a second toad. It's time to take them to the inner courtyard, but some ghosts will attack when you go for the door. After you take them down, exit via the door into the Grand West. Hang a right at the junction and exit out the far right door to reach the inner courtyard. Now Egad's teleporter that you need to reach is upstairs, but there seems to be no way up there. But maybe the extremely suspicious looking statue in the middle has something to do with it. Try launching a toad into both of the cages to find out. Upon doing so, this mission's Boo will appear, and in turn make the statue disappear. Oh, and he's joined by some sneakers too, who you should focus on taking down first. Once it's just you and Boo left, you'll have to track him down and capture him in order to restore the statue. Now tracking him can be tricky in a big area like this, but you can actually trick him into showing himself by attempting to restore the statue with the dark light and then sucking up the spirit balls. This makes the battle a cinch. Once Boo's down for the count, reveal the statue for real this time. Now launch the toads back into the cages to weigh them down, causing 2 light sensors to be revealed. Flash them both at the same time to cause a staircase to rise up from the ground. Climb it up to the teleporter to send the toads to Egad's lab and complete the mission. Welcome to Treacherous Mansion E-3, a train to catch. If you've been following our guide, there will be 6 gemstones that we recommend grabbing here that you haven't already found, as well as 1 boo to track down. Start off by heading back to the inner courtyard. Now interact with the circular object by the stairs to place a rotor on it, which will allow you to use your vacuum to rotate the entire staircase. For now, rotate it so that it leads up to the balcony on the right. Now climb the stairs up to a door that leads into the east corridor. Because the entrance into the train exhibit will be blocked off, let's head to the bottom right door leading into the nautical exhibit instead. Inside, you'll find it's far too foggy to do much of anything, so use your vacuum's blow feature to close the open porthole above, then run your vacuum for a few seconds to clear the air. Once you can see again, take down the ghost manning the steering wheel and a few of his friends. With the room cleared, you'll be able to activate the portal. Now before we continue with the mission, there's a gem you can collect in this room, but because it involves a weighted switch, you'll have to find something to weigh it down. Try heading back to the front entrance via the portal and returning to the Dark Age exhibit to grab the bucket. Once you have it, return to the nautical room via the portals and climb the stairs onto the shipwreck. Place the bucket on the weighted switch to the left, causing the nearby steering wheel to drop, revealing a door. It leads out onto the other half of the ship where you'll find a chest containing the mansion's 9th gem. And don't worry, you didn't miss one, number 8 is next. Now head back inside and use your vacuum on the steering wheel the slammer was manning earlier to spin the compass on the ground so that it faces north. Doing so will cause the portal to spin around where it can be accessed from the study. Head there now by returning to the east corridor and then heading through the next door up on the right. Inside, you might notice a reflection of a book that doesn't seem to exist in the mirror. Cast your dark light on the table to reveal it. Once you have it, try placing that book on the nearby bookshelf, although it'll cause a poltergeist to appear and run off with it. He's hiding in the space exhibit on the west side of the mansion, so let's head in that direction. Return to the inner courtyard via the east corridor and climb down the stairs. Now use your vacuum to rotate the staircase 180 degrees so that it's facing the west balcony. Climb up it and head through the door into the west corridor. Watch out for some creepers lurking about before making a brief detour through the top left door into the aviation exhibit for a gem. Suck up one of the weighted bags holding the hot air balloon down to cause some ghosts to appear. After taking them down, remove the other bag to reveal the mansion's 8th gem. Now exit back into the west corridor and head to the south end. Use your dark light along the blank wall by the doormat to reveal a door leading into the space exhibit. Peer into the telescope to spot that pesky poltergeist, but once you go to leave, you'll find yourself magically teleported right to him. Like the ones before, he'll be invisible for most of the battle, but you can track where he is by the stars in the background that move or change color. Now throughout the battle, he'll retreat to the planet in the center after you cause enough damage. Not only is he invulnerable here, but he'll toss bombs your way too. Just stay as far away from them as you can and wait it out. Oh, and if you're running low on health, try flashing the bugs that appear to gain some hearts. Following the battle, you'll be returned to the room where you'll find the book you've been looking for. Before grabbing it, pull on the chain attached to the nearby rocket ship to reveal a portal you can activate. Now grab the book and head on through back to the front entrance. Now just head straight across to the portal that leads to the study. Place the book on the bookshelf here to cause the entire thing to drop, revealing a door leading into the train exhibit, which is this mission's final room. But before you enter, we still have some gems and a boo to find. And all of them require the use of the balloon berries growing along the right wall. Grab one and use the portals to reach the Dark Age exhibit. Use the balloon to float up to the bed in the top right corner where you'll find a gold berry. Pull it off to start a minigame where you'll have to collect all the coins in order to complete it. Oh, and you only get one shot too. We recommend turning the 3D on if you haven't already, as it'll make it easier to line up with the coins. Make sure to use both the vacuum suck and blow ability to ascend and descend through them rapidly. If you manage to collect them all, a chest will appear that contains this mission's boo. Afterward, grab another berry and return to the front entrance. This time, use it to float over to a platform in the southeastern corner where you'll find 2 gargoyles, one of whom is holding a book. Flash that one to have him drop it and carry it back to the Dark Ages exhibit. Place it on the bookshelf here to have it drop, revealing the mansion's 10th gem. Now go grab yet another berry and take it to the jungle exhibit. Use it to float up to an area above where you'll find another gold berry on the left. But before you grab it, it's crucial that you take down the crows flying around, otherwise it might pop your gold balloon, which is the one chance you have to get this gem. Once you're sure you've cleared them all out, grab the gold berry to start another coin collecting minigame. And like before, it's easiest if you have the 3D turned on. In this case, make sure to float through the coins in the opposite direction they're spinning to grab them at the fastest rate possible. If you manage to grab them all, a chest will appear containing the mansion's 11th gem. Afterward, grab the balloon berry before taking the portal, then head for the Ice Age exhibit. Once there, use the balloon to find a gold berry on a high ledge along the left wall. Yep, it's another coin collecting minigame, and like before, it's easiest if you have the 3D turned on. This time you'll have to deal with the wind currents of the air conditioning machines, so make sure you position yourself properly before entering the stream so you don't have to fight against it more than you have to. If you manage to collect all the coins, a chest will appear containing the mansion's 12th gem. Now it's time to finally head back to the study and use the door you revealed that leads into the train exhibit. After you take down the ghost here, use your dark light on the missing section of track to restore it, causing a train to pull up. Catch a ride on it to find the mansion's 13th and final gem. Now take a look into the display in the center of the room. Look down to discover that Mario has been trapped inside a painting, which will complete your mission. Welcome to what appears to be Treacherous Mansion's boss mission, E-4 Ambush Maneuver. And there actually is a Boo to catch here, but you'll get him automatically as part of the mission. To get started, use your dark light just right to the train car ahead to reveal the engine itself, which will cause this mission's boss to appear. Despite initial appearances, you won't be fighting just one Boo, but multiple Boos that join together to form one giant one. So as you might have guessed, you're going to have to break him apart and attack each Boo individually. But to do this, you're going to have him run into the giant drill on the front of the train somehow. And there's two main ways to do this, but the one you use depends entirely on which attack the Boo decides to use himself. If he dives underground, he's about to perform a charge attack in whichever direction you are. Position yourself near the front of the train, timing it so that the Boo runs right into the drill, busting him apart. Alternatively, you can lure him into any other part of the train and knock him out instead, but now there's a second step. You'll now have to grab his tongue and aim him toward the front of the train, then perform a charged attack to send him flying. Now, if the Boo decides to jump around instead, avoid him entirely 3 times to have him knock himself out, then just launch him into the front of the train. After breaking the Boo up into smaller ones, it's time to get to work. Like with a big one, you'll want to launch them into the train, but this time you're aiming for the open cages being pulled by the engine. Now, because only one Boo can fit into each cage, make sure you aim only for the open ones as marked by the blue signs. Oh, and when the Boos turn invisible on you, just use the dark light to reveal them. Now capture as many as you can before the Boos form back together into the larger one. Then just repeat these steps until you've caged them all to complete the mission. Welcome to Treacherous Mansion E-5, Paranormal Chaos. If you've been following our guide, there are no gemstones to find since you've already found them all, but there's still one Boo waiting to be tracked down. Now this level's a little different than the others, but before we get to that, let's go track down that Boo since there may not be time to later. Head to the aviation exhibit and shine your dark light in the middle of the room to reveal the hot air balloon and this mission's Boo. With the Boo out of the way, head for the terrace via the northern door in the inner courtyard. There you'll discover King Boo and he's up to his usual no-good tricks, this time unleashing a steady stream of ghosts into the mansion, and it's up to you to hunt them all down. Thankfully, the locations of the ghosts are marked on your map, and the color of the room indicates the length of time that the room's been infested, with green being on the shorter end and red being the danger zone. And if any one room remains in the red state for too long, a 3-minute countdown will eventually appear, and if you don't clear that room before time's up, it's game over. Now because you can't exit an infested room until it's clear, it's critical to target any red rooms first, followed by yellow, then green. Because time is of the essence, you can't afford to waste any. This means you should use the portals to get around as often as possible. And you'll want to capture the ghosts in each room as quickly as possible, so unleash some fully charged strobe lights to stun as many ghosts as you can at the same time for capture. If you manage to clear all the rooms, you'll then have to return to the terrace, where you'll take on one final round of ghosts. And like before, there's a time limit here too. Now there's not a ton of strategy to this beyond what we've already suggested, but here are a few tips. For one, try to strobe light the ghosts as they enter through the portal to easily stun a bunch of them at the same time. Secondly, take down the sneakers as soon as you can so they don't constantly interrupt the capture process. And finally, save the large gobber ghost for last when he appears and clear all the others out first to make his capture much easier. Once you clear the terrace, the mission will be complete. Welcome to Treacherous Mansion's boss mission, Stop the Nightmare. To get the battle started, try and grab the Dark Moon piece from the knight ahead. The battle begins simply enough with 2 knights going on the offensive. Like the knights you faced before, you'll have to lure them to a rug and pull it out from underneath them. However, because the knights will revive each other if you only take one down, you'll have to lure them both to the same rug and pull it out from underneath them at the same time. If you're having trouble keeping them in the right spot, wait for them to initiate their attack animation, which should give you plenty of time to either lure the other one over, or to pull the rug out from underneath them. After doing so, the poltergeist will be revealed. Like all the previous times, wait for him to dash into a wall to KO himself, then go in for the capture to inflict some damage. In the next round, you'll have to take on 3 knights, but the strategy is still the same. Lure them to the same rug and pull it out from underneath them. This will again reveal the poltergeist. Like before, go for the capture when he stuns himself. In the final part of the battle, the poltergeist will possess a giant suit of armor. Besides watching for falling debris throughout the battle, which you can evade by keeping an eye out for their shadows, the knight has 2 main attacks. For one, he'll either stab a sword into the ground or slide it through in a straight line, though he occasionally switches directions halfway through as well. But because he'll never actually slice through the rugs themselves, we recommend hanging out on them for the battle. His other attack has him attempting to step on you 1 foot at a time, but this is also his weakness. You'll have to lure both of his feet onto a rug each. As soon as you've lured the second one onto a rug, pull it out from underneath that foot first to throw him off his balance, buying you enough time to suck up the second rug and knocking him down completely. This will expose the poltergeist for the 3rd and final time. Like before, wait for him to KO himself, then capture him once and for all to complete the battle and reveal a piece of the Dark Moon that's yours for the taking. Welcome to King Boo's Illusion, the final battle in the game. Now this battle takes place across 3 segments, with all of them except for the third one consisting of 2 parts. In the first part of each segment, you'll battle King Boo directly. And the first thing he'll do in these segments is summon 3 spiked balls, which will roll in the direction that the arena tilts in, which is dependent on where you stand. And dodging these balls is actually tougher than dodging King Boo himself, who will follow you at a slow pace. However, King Boo will occasionally pound the ground, launching the balls into the air, and this is your chance to attack. You'll have to lure the king into the shadow of any one of the balls so that it lands directly onto him, making him vulnerable to being captured. Now actually luring King Boo into the shadow can be a little tricky. You'll want to position yourself so that the shadow is between you and the king. Then shine your flashlight onto him to hold him in place and make him vulnerable. If it's a direct hit, he'll be squashed, which is your chance to go in for the capture. And if he tries to escape, you can pull him back down with a charged vacuum attack. Once you fully deplete his health, you'll enter the next segment where you have to run away from an oversized King Boo. There's not really many tips I can give you since it's all about quick reactions, but when you reach the pair of staircases, take the one farther back to avoid an escalator going the wrong way. After the running segment, you'll get to take on King Boo for a second time, but this time he'll occasionally shock tiles on the ground, turning them into either sandy or icy terrain, making it difficult to move around. Obviously, you should try and avoid these, especially during the actual shocking process. Otherwise, the battle is the exact same as before, only now one of the spiked balls is much larger. After that, you'll have one more running segment to deal with before it's on to the final battle with King Boo. This time, you'll have to avoid an occasional massive lightning attack, so make sure to run to the one tile that's not lit up. Once you take him down here, the final piece of the Dark Moon is yours for the taking.